All right, tier rankings here. Really, it's power rankings because there's only 4 teams left. Only 3 games left of football this year. Very sad, but let's enjoy them while we can because we should have a great conference championship slate and then a great Super Bowl, I hope. Let's get into the list. So I have 4 teams. The first at the top tier, and listen, I should mention I haven't done my deep dive into these previews, and just because I have the tiers this way, I could end up changing my mind on a game come later in the week. But as it stands right now, top of the list, I'm just keeping with the Kansas City Chiefs. They are in the I'm just not betting against this team tier. Last year, for long-time fans of the channel know, I picked against the Chiefs every single game in their playoff run last year. In fairness, they were underdogs in 3 of those games, according to Vegas, so it wasn't as crazy of a take as it sounds. Nonetheless, bit of a crazy take, and I looked foolish. I'm not doing it again. I'm learning from my mistakes here. I don't know. I just think this Chiefs team is really good. Their defense is somehow, every team, someone tweeted this at me, it's true. Somehow, while every single team is getting more and more injured, the Chiefs are getting healthier down the stretch. It's truly bizarre. They are, they pretty much have their receiving core they want. Granted, it's not an elite receiving core. That is the weakness, I think. But they have the receiving core that's mostly healthy at this point. They still have an issue at tackle, and if they're going to lose the Super Bowl or if they're going to lose the conference championship game, it's going to be because of that. That is an issue. And I'd also say, we're still kind of waiting on that Mahomes moment, right? That Mahomes game. This would be a good time if you're a Chiefs fan. And again, I'm not going to bank against a Mahomes moment here. The defense, though, is still playing at just such a high level. The coverage unit was great against the Houston Texans. So if the Bills are going to win this game, they're going to need their secondary receivers to come through. It could happen. It very much could happen. Do not take this as I'm not giving the Bills a chance to win. It's simply just respect to the team that has won back-to-back Super Bowls. They know how to win. They find ways to win, and I wouldn't be shocked if they can find a way to win the conference championship game. I have to say, someone asked me, what's the chances of the Bills winning that game? And I said 50-50. That's really kind of how it feels to me right now. So second on this is this team, which is, it kind of feels like it's their year, but I've said that before. I kind of feel like the Chiefs are just, if they win this game, it just feels like they're a lock to win the Super Bowl. If the Bills win, I think they'll be favored in the Super Bowl, but you never know. That's just kind of, I think, my differentiating factors there. But yeah, I mean, in fairness, I say it feels like their year, but I've said that before. Although, This is their best shot they've had as a team in the conference championship for just the second time in the Josh Allen era. The first time was the first year Josh Allen was Josh Allen. The first year he was good. He famously, his first 2 years, he wasn't great out of the gate. But then his third year, he was great. That was the year that they went to the conference championship. He's only gotten better since then. They played the Chiefs twice in the divisional round since then. There was the famous 13 seconds game. There was also last year where there was another missed field goal. In fairness, there was still 2 minutes left. I think the Chiefs probably get in field goal range and kick a game-winning field goal and still win anyway, but still, you'd have loved to have a chance if you're the Bills in that moment. Poor Bills fans, I'm bringing up all their playoff losses. Why am I doing that? This team definitely feels different. This team has really done a lot this season. They don't make mistakes, which is not something that you can say of teams of Bills past. And I do think in this game, it could come down to who doesn't make the mistakes just as much as it is who makes the plays. And we saw last year, or not last year, earlier in the year, I guess technically that was 2024, they beat the Chiefs. Now, granted, it's the third straight season they've beaten the Chiefs in the regular season, so it only means so much, right? But still, it shows that you can hang with this team. Feels like a 50-50 game, so I don't know how it's going to go. You don't know how it's going to go, but we're all excited to watch it. And I think most of us are rooting for the Bills. How could you not in a situation like this unless you're a Chiefs fan? The third tier is going to be, on paper, they're the most complete team, but what's going on if you're quarterback tier? Obviously, that is the Eagles. I know the names kind of give away who's going where, but at the same time, can only do so much when there's 4 teams. Going to kind of spoil some stuff. On paper, they're the most complete team. That's true. I mean, this defense is playing great. Seems like Quinyon Mitchell will be okay to go. It seems like his injury wasn't too serious, so that would be very good for the Philadelphia Eagles. This defensive line, I mean, Jalen Carter in that big moment. I mean, this goes back to what the Eagles do and why it's a good strategy of sometimes just draft the best player. Like, there's a good player available. Let's just draft him. Let's not overthink this a little bit. Sure, we're okay on the interior defensive line, but Jalen Carter's better than any other player on the board, and if we don't draft him because we don't need this position, we're drafting a worse player because of it. Now, all of a sudden, Jalen Carter, they could use him, and he was able to step up in a huge spot, get that sack on Stafford to push it back to 4th and 11, where they got to stop there. Stafford really came roaring back in that game, but this Eagles defense is still really good. It can defend in the snow, and it might have to again next week. Their running game, obviously, I mean, the way this offensive line creates holes for Saquon Barkley and essentially just gives him like one-on-ones against the safety, and then he just makes the safety miss so consistently, and then he's gone. No one's catching him at that point. I mean, it's just such a deadly weapon that they have in their arsenal. The second part of this, what's going on with your quarterback? Listen, I scrolled all the team subreddits that played on the divisional round just out of curiosity. What are the fans saying? There was a post of Eagles fans kind of talking about how they love Jalen Hurts and like they think that, any issues that he's had has been overblown. Listen, I'm a pro Jalen Hurts guy. I think Jalen Hurts is a really good quarterback. I don't think he's been playing great these past couple of weeks. And he made some plays, and it's worth mentioning. Maybe the better thing to say is what's going on with your passing game, because like some of the receivers aren't making plays, including AJ Brown, who that's the whole thing. It is. He had that 4th down conversion. You got to give him credit there. Which ended up being a big play, getting an extra 3 points there. But still, that's something I feel like they need to clean up with Jalen Hurts. The biggest issue is just how long he's holding on to the football. Like in that, in the end zone, he had an opportunity to get rid of the football. He wasn't able to. He's had some of these plays where he's had opportunities to get rid of the football and hasn't. To me, that is the biggest issue right now and what needs to be fixed. But like, if Jalen Hurts plays like Jalen Hurts in the conference championship game, like, yeah, they probably should win that game. But they do have the hottest quarterback in football right now, Jaden Daniels, coming to town. This tier is it feels like they shouldn't be 4th, could easily still win it all. I mean, that's just how I feel right now. Like, okay, you kind of have to put them 4th because their defense has not been great this season, and even in that Lions game where they got the takeaways, they still gave up 31 points, and at times it felt like the Lions could move at will. That's the thing, is I think that what concerns you if you're a Washington fan is if the Eagles can just battle defensively and slow down Jaden Daniels. You don't have to shut him down, and you're not going to shut him down, but if you can just slow down that offense, are you just kind of screwed defensively? But granted, I mean, we've seen them make plays, right? Like Mikey Sandstrom, all of a sudden with those 2 really good interceptions. Bobby Wagner can make plays. Frankie Louvu can make plays. I mean, like, we've seen them find ways to make plays here down the stretch in key spots, specifically in that Lions game, although they had some moments in the Buccaneers game as well, although kind of the big plays there were the Buccaneers screwing up the snap counts on plays. But still, the other aspect is, like with all these teams, they protect the football really well. All of these teams have protected the football really well. None of them had turnovers in the divisional round. It's not a coincidence that those are teams that move on. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not betting against Jaden Daniels. I guess I am betting against Jaden Daniels, but not by much. I mean, I really don't feel... I feel like this could go either way. I would not be shocked with any combination. Sometimes a team wins, and I'm like, whoa, that was really surprising. And in fact, last season, I was kind of looking at this like, 49ers are probably going to easily beat the Lions. And the fact that they didn't easily beat the Lions was shocking to me. Like, sometimes you have a game like that, I would not be shocked at all. In fact, I kind of wouldn't be shocked at all if any of these games are blowouts, too. You think Chiefs and Bills are going to be close just because the Chiefs always end up in close games. But, I feel like there's 4 great teams. I am excited for how this is going to go. That is my tier rankings. Again, I know opinions will differ on this stuff, and I have both AFC teams at the top and then both NFC teams at the bottom, but again, once we get to the Super Bowl, things could change. Who knows? Maybe even later this week, I'll say, you know what, actually, I think I like the Bills more. I'm still kind of on defense on that game. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.